Xij. So there are two subscripts are available Xij. So number of rows and number of column based on the number of rows and number of column. So we'll discuss about the transportation model. The transportation model is a special type of linear programming problem that deals with transporting or shipping some commodity from several sources or factories to various destinations. The destinations are maybe the market or maybe the warehouse. The objective is to determine the transportation schedule or the shipping schedule that minimizes the total shipping cost while satisfying the supply and the demand. There are some in the sources, there are some supplies with some limit, and at the destination points, there are some demands. Okay, so there is having some limit. We assume that the shipping cost is proportional to the number of units shipped on a given route. So, for example, if you are transporting or shipping some commodity from ith source to this destination, let us say 1 unit, say whatever, if you transport the 10 units, so it will be just multiplied. So this is proportional. So we assume that the shipping cost is proportional to the number of units shipped on a given route. So, and we further assume there are m number of sources. We say that the factories, like say M1, M2 up to, so sources like 1, 2 up to M, and n number of destinations, the market we are saying, the 1, 2, 3 up to n. The cost of shipping or transporting 1 unit of from some source I to destination J is Cij. If you are transporting or shipping 1 unit of product from source I to destination J, that is the cost is Cij, and this Cij always either it is positive, sometimes there is no cost, maybe 0, but certainly not negative. Okay, the cost of shipping 1 unit from source I to destination J is Cij. This generally it is positive. We assume that the availability at sources I is AI. I varies from 1, 2, 3 up to M, and the demand at destination J is Bj. J varies from 1, 2 up to N. So here we assume an important assumption. This is something like the problem is a balanced one, means whatever is available, that is equal to our total demand. That is summation over I varies from 1 to M AI. This is equal to summation over J varies from 1 to N Bj. That is the total availability is equal to the total demand. This generally this AI, they are integers, like say A1, A2 up to AM, they are integers. Similarly, this B1, B2 up to Bn, they are the amount available, amount demands, they are all integers. So sum of AI equal to sum of Bj. So this is a very important assumption for a balanced transportation problem. If this problem is not balanced, so whatever it is given equal to, so it is not equal to, which it is unbalanced, not equal to. If it is balanced, then it is suddenly equal to. Okay. Generally, we solve transportation problem, when the problem is a balanced one. We don't solve unbalanced transportation problem. We solve only balanced transportation problem. We can always meet this balanced condition by introducing a dummy source or a dummy destination if the problem is unbalanced. If the problem is all balanced, then always you can make it balanced by adding a extra source, maybe extra destination point. So that also we'll discuss. So if it is unbalanced, how to transform the problem a balanced one. So here we say Xij be the amount of commodity to be transported or shipped from source I to destination J. This Xij, this is a decision variable. That is a 2-index decision variable. Generally we use in transportation problem. So in fact, this decision variable a non-negative integer. In fact, because if you assume all the AI and all the Bj are integer, then this decision variable Xij also will be happen to be integer. Okay, this. Mathematically, this transportation problem we can formulate it as a linear programming problem in this manner. That is, minimize a objective function z that is equal to summation over I varies from 1 to m, the double summation, then summation over j varies from 1 to n, Cij Xij, subject to, this is the source constraints for the availability, that is summation over j varies from 1 to n Xij equal to ai, I varies from 1 to m, that is the source constant. Similarly, we have summation over I varies from 1 to, that is j, earlier we have taken summation over j varies from 1 to n Xij equal to ai, I varies from 1 to m. Similarly here, summation over I, that is I varies from 1 to m Xij equal to bj, j varies from 1 to n. This first one is called the source constraint. There are m number of source constraint, and the second set there are n number of destination constraints. Altogether there are m plus m number of constraints. If this problem is a balanced one, we say summation over ai, say I varies from 1 to m equal to summation over bj, j varies from 1 to m. Okay, this. So, and all the decision variables Xij, there are m into n number of decision variables. They are all non-negative. These decision variables are non-negative. So here there are some discussion. There are m into n number of decision variables, we say it is Xij, and m plus n number of constraints, source constraints and the destination constraints. Since the sum of first m constraints equal to sum of the last n constraints, because of the problem is a balanced one of these constraint is redundant, and we can show that the other m plus n minus one constraints are linearly independent. Thus, any basic feasible solution will have only m plus n minus one number of non-zero variables. So for the transportation problem, we have basic feasible solution. So since you have altogether there are m into n number of variables, m plus n number of constraints, and is a balanced one. So the basic feasible solution must have, so m plus n minus 1 non-zero variables, m plus n minus 1. Okay, so if I'm saying m equal to 5, n equal to 4, then we have 5 plus 4, that is 9, 9 minus 1 equal to 8. So we have in the basic feasible solution, we have, so maximum, that is m plus n minus 1, 5 plus 4, 9 minus 1, 8 non-zero variables, 8 non-zero decision variables. Okay, this basic feasible solution. Though we can solve this above transportation problem, this is a standard linear programming problem. So we can solve by simplex method. However, we will not solve by simplex method. We will solve the problem very similar to simplex method using the simplex rule. So we can solve this LPB by simplex method. We solve it by a special algorithm called transportation algorithm. We present the data in a tabular manner. We present the model, the mathematical model of the transportation problem in a tabular manner, in this manner. See, as I have already mentioned, there are m number of sources. So source 1, source 2, source m number of sources, and we have n number of destination, the destination 1, destination 2, destination n. Okay, at the sources we have supply. At first source, supply amount equal to A1. At second source, supply amount is A2, and similarly at the mth source, the supply amount is AM. Okay, this is the supply, and similarly the demand at destination 1 equal to B1, demand at destination 2 equal to B2, and similarly demand at destination n equal to Bn. Since the problem is a balanced transportation problem, we have A1 plus A2 up to AM. This sum is exactly equal to B1 plus B2 up to Bm. Okay, so this transportation problem we have presented in a matrix form. See, it is a m by n transportation matrix, m by n. So m number of rows and n number of columns. So whatever is given C11, that is the transportation cost from source 1 to destination 1. C12, that is the 1 unit of transportation cost from source 1 to destination 2. Similarly, C1n is nothing but 1 unit of transportation cost from source 1 to destination n. Similarly, if you consider the second row, so C21, that is 1 unit of transportation cost from source 2 to destination 1. Okay, so similarly C22, that is 1 unit of transportation cost from source 2 to destination 2. And the last element C2n, that is 1 unit of transportation cost from second source to nth destination. Okay, nth destination. And if you consider the last row, we have here CM1, CM2, CMN. CM1 equal to that is transportation cost, 1 unit of transportation cost if you transport from source M to destination 1. Similarly, CM2, that is 1 unit of transportation cost from source M to destination 2, and CMN, that is 1 unit of transportation cost from source M to destination N. These are the transportation cost. So in every cell, there is an element called Cij. Cij, in ith row, jth column element is Cij. This is the transportation cost. In every cell, there is a decision variables. Unknown decision variables, we have to find out the decision variables. For ith row, jth column cell, the transportation cost is Cij. With respect to that cell, our decision variable is Xij, Xij, ith row, jth column, and that is, we want to find out that is unknown decision variables. It can be 0, it can be positive. In fact, this is an integer, non-negative integer. Okay, this. So this is a problem you can see here. So this is a problem, is a standard transportation problem. So we are transporting goods from, there are 5 sources to 3 different destinations. So at the sources, so Los Angeles, Detroit, New Orleans. So, and we have 2 dummy sources. So 2 dummy, 1 dummy. So that is because it is an unbalanced transportation problem. We had made dummy. So why dummy? Because if a unbalanced transportation problem is there, we have to add a dummy source or a dummy demand, then we make it balanced. Okay, so you can see here altogether we have. So if you consider about the destination 2300 at Denver, Miami 1400, the total amount is 2300 plus 1400, that is 3700 unit. That is the destination, that is the demand. And what is the supply? At Los Angeles, supply is 1000 unit. At Detroit, so 1300 unit. And New Orleans, 1200 unit. So altogether, so 1000, 1300, 1200. So that is 3500. There is a shortage of 200. So we add a dummy source where the supply is 200 and now the problem is balanced. So this 35 plus 200, that is 3700, and this 2300 plus 1400, that is 3700. So this problem is becoming balanced. So the balance problem we can solve. If the dummy source is not there, then the problem is unbalanced. We cannot solve it. We have to make it balanced first. Okay. So see, say what is given here? The cost. So if you analyze, so if you are transporting 1 unit of good from Los Angeles to Denver, the transportation cost is 880 unit. Okay, 1 unit. And this Los Angeles to Miami, and this is AM unit. This AM generally we indicate a very big positive number, very big positive numbers, just like the big M method. So we use some penalty. So here also this AM indicates a very big positive number. If AM is given, so we assume it is a very large positive number. So in fact, in software it is our infinity. So generally, so M is given. So if something is assigned in this manner, we assume it is a very big positive number. Okay. Now, see another problem we have. Another problem. We have something like say 3 refinery. So refinery 1, 2, 3, and they supply 6 unit. And second refinery 5 unit, third refinery 8 units, altogether 6 plus 5, that is 11 plus 8, that is 19 unit. And what is the demand? So at first destination, that is 4 unit, at second destination is 12 unit, and third destination is 7 units, altogether 4 plus 8 plus 7, the 12 plus 7, 19 units. And supply and demand, this is 19 units together, so it is a balanced transportation problem. But in this problem, see the 1 unit transportation cost is given 12, 18 and M. M is a very large positive number. Then second row 30, 10, 8. Then third row 20, 25, 12. Now what will happen to this model? So with respect to first cell, the decision variable involved is x11, second cell x12, third cell x13, then second row x21, then x22, x23, then third row x31, x32, x33. Okay, this. So now we can formulate the model in this manner. So the model is something like summation over I varies from 1 to 3, J varies from 1 to 3, because there are 3 sources and 3 destinations, Cij into Xij. The Cij is given. They are the constants 12, 18 and M, 30, 10 and 8, 20, 25 and 12. So this we like to minimize subject to certain constants. What are the constants here? So the constants in this problem here, as I've already mentioned earlier, that is 6, 5, 8, The 11 plus 8, 19. And here 4, 8, 12 plus 7, it is 19. So this is a balanced one. So now if it is given 6, 5, 8, then it is 19 supply and demand is, so 4 plus 8, 12 plus 4, 12 plus 4, that is 16 plus 3, that is also 19. The first problem and second problem both are balanced. Okay, we can here, what is the difference? So there are 3 sources and 4 destination. Earlier we have 3 sources and 3 destination, but see the data are slightly different, but more or less. So the size, that is a 3 by 3 problem, it is a 3 by 4 problem, but this both the problems are balanced. Okay, so now we have another problem. So there are 3 sources, source 1, source 2, source 3, and there are 4 destinations, destination 1, destination 2, destination 3, destination 4. We are checking whether the present problem is a balanced or not. You can see here 350 plus 400, 750 plus 250, altogether so 1000. And if you count, take the sum of the demands, so 150 plus 150, 300 plus 400, 700 plus 300, it is 1000. So this is a balanced transportation problem. Okay, so what is happening to this? And this present problem is 3 by 4, 3 sources and 4 destination, and this is a balanced transportation problem. Only problem is there is a cost coefficient, so with value equal to the Cij value equal to, so that is the third row, fourth constant, the value equal to say m. Okay, so this is the m here. So this m is a very large positive number. So if there is m, how to solve such problem also we'll discuss. So the next part is determination of the starting basic feasible solution, that is called phase 1 solution. So we solve the problem, the transportation problem. So we solve the transportation problem. So in 2 different phases. First phase, that is the trial solution. So second phase, we'll check whether the trial solution is optimal or not. If it is optimal, we'll stop. So if it is optimal, we'll stop. If it is not optimal, we'll try to improve the solution. Okay, so there are few methods in the literature. First one is the northwest corner rule. Second one is the least cost method. Third is the Vogel's approximation method. We will discuss the first 2 only, the northwest corner rule and the least cost method. So using these 2 methods, we like to find the basic feasible solution. Once the basic feasible solution is obtained, we'll like to check whether the basic feasible solution is optimal or not using our duality theory. So we are discussing about the phase 1 solution, the determination of starting solution, that is the phase 1 solution. In any transportation model, we determine a starting basic feasible solution and then iteratively moves toward the optimal solution, which is the least transportation cost or the shipping cost or the minimum shipping cost. There are 3 different methods, as I mentioned already. That is one least cost method, then northwest kernel rule, then least cost method, another is the Vogel's approximation method. So we'll discuss only the first 2, not the third one. So third one is a little lengthier. So that third one creates problem. What problem? Because we are looking for some solution. So basic feasible solution, which is so m plus m minus 1 number of basic that is the variables, non-zero variables. So if that is the case, then it will have ideal, and most of the time the Vogel's approximation method creates problem. So we avoid the third method. Okay, so there are 3 methods, as I will mention. any basic feasible solution will have only, that is the maximum we can say here, m plus n minus 1 number of basic variables, sometimes also less, which may assume non-zero positive values, and remaining variables will be non-basic. These are the basic variable. Remaining variables are non-basic, and so they have zero values. In any transportation table, we only indicate the values of the basic variables. All the non-basic variables by default they are zero. The cells corresponding to the non-basic variables will simply become blank, and when there is a value, we'll mention the value. If there is nothing is mentioned, then it is blank, that value is zero. Then we are discussing about the degenerate basic feasible solution. If in a cell we find a zero mentioned, it means that that cell corresponding to basic variable which assume a value zero. In simplex language, we say that we have a degenerate basic feasible solution. But exactly it should have m plus n minus 1 number of non-zero. But if you find it is the number is less than m plus n minus 1, then we say that this is a degenerate basic feasible solution. But if it is non-degenerate, then the basic feasible solution must have m plus n minus 1 number of basic variables. So that is the difference. For the degenerate basic feasible solution, we must have so less than m plus n minus 1 number of non-zero. First, we are discussing about the phase 1 solution. The first method is called northwest corner method for determining the phase 1 solution or the basic feasible solution. This method starts at the northwest corner cell, that is cell 1, 1. So the top in the map, we have the top is north, the bottom is south. So right is the east and the left is west. So northwest means if I am talking about this first cell 1, 1. So that mentioned the northwest corner of the transportation matrix. So this method start at the northwest corner cell, that is cell number 1. Step 1, we allocate as much as possible to the selected cell and adjust the associated amount of supply and demand by subtracting the allocated amount. So step 2, cross out the row or column with a zero supply or zero demand to indicate that no further assignment can be made to that row or column. If you find both a row and a column are simultaneously satisfied, then if exactly one row or one column is left uncrossed, if exactly one row or one column is left uncrossed, make the obvious allocation and stop. Make the obvious allocation means only one and stop. Else cross out one only out of row and column. Only one of them you can cross out and leave a zero supply or demand in the uncrossed out row or column. Step 3, if no further allocation is to be made, stop. Else move to the cell to the right if a column has just been crossed out, or to the cell below if a row has just been crossed out, go to the step 1. Okay. The step 3 says if no further allocation is to be made, stop. Else move to the cell to the right. That is, if a column has been crossed out, or to the cell below, if a row has been crossed out, go to step 1. Okay, that is step 3. We'll discuss with some example. Okay. Now, consider this transportation problem. So here many things already they are marked. So I am just repeating. This is a transportation matrix. There are 3 sources and 4 destinations. So sources, it is given source 1, source 2, source 3. 3 sources. At the sources 1, 2, 3, whatever is available, A1, A2, A3, they are in this manner given. 5 units, 2 units, and 3 units. 5 plus 2 plus 3, altogether 10 units. Source 1, source 2, source 3, 5 units at source 1, at source 2, 2 units, at source 3, 3 units. Altogether, there are 10 units. And at destination, there are 4 destinations. Destination 1, destination 2, destination 3, destination 4. What is the demands there? At destination 1, demand is 3 units. Destination 2, demand is 3 units. And destination 3, demand is 2 units. And destination 4, demand is 2 units. Altogether, 3 plus 3 plus 2 plus 2 is 10 units. So this problem is becoming a balanced transportation problem, because the total supply equal to 10 units, the total demands equal to 10 units. That is a balanced transportation problem. Now, this is a transportation matrix with 3 rows and 4 columns. 3 row and 4 column. 3 sources and 4 destination with respect to 3 sources and 4 destination. So that is, the transportation matrix is 3 by 4. Are you able to hear? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. See, we are discussing about the northwest corner rule. See, so there are altogether, as I will mention, there are 12 cells. That is, first cell is 1, 1, then we have 1, 2, then we have 1, 3, then we have 1, 4. Then the second row, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4. In third row, 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3, and 3, 4. Okay. So the first cell, as you see, the cost coefficients are given like 3, then second, in the first row itself, 3 units, 7 units, 6 units, 4 units. Whatever is right, it is given. This 5 is nothing but the supply. And similarly, the second row, the cost coefficient is given 2 units, then 4 units, then 3 units, then 2 units, and whatever is given 2, that is the supply at source 2. Then for the third row, the cost coefficient is 4 units, then 3 units, then 8 units, then 5 units, and these 3, whatever in the right, the supply at source 3. And similarly, we have demand. Demand at source 1, sorry, demand at demand, that is B1, we are saying at demand 1.1, so that is 3 units, then demand, then next is 3 units, then next is 2 units, then next is 2 units. 3 plus 3 plus 2 plus 2. Okay, altogether 10. So this is a balanced transportation problem. So how you are allocating? See, in the row, in the first row, what is there? The supply equal to 5 units. Okay. In the first column, the demand is 3 units, 5 and 3. So to the cell 1, 1, we can allocate only, so 5 and 3, the minimum amount we can allot, the minimum amount equal to 3, the minimum of 5 and 3 equal to 3. So we can allocate, so to this cell 1, 1, 3 units. So whatever the 3 it is encircled here, that is nothing but our X11. So now we have given a value x11 equal to 3. Okay, x11 equal to 3. So see, x11 equal to 3. Say once you have given already 3 units, so it is there, this 3 in the first row and 3 in the first column itself. Okay, so what we should do? So already 3 units is fulfilled. So this 3, the demand, so it is fulfilled. So we have to drop out the first column. First column. Once you have allocated 3 units, we drop out, or we can put a line on the first column. Means there is nothing. So this 3 is reduced by 3, so it is 0. Nothing is left out. So the first column is gone. Okay, first column is gone. So first column is gone. In first row, what is happening? Out of 5, 3 units we have taken. So how much left out? Only 2 units left out. So these 2 remain. Okay, these 2 remain. Now this transportation matrix we have reduced. How we have reduced? We have reduced. So one column we have reduced. One column we have already dropped. The first column has gone. Now there are 3 column, second column, third column, fourth column, and we have 3 rows. First row, second row, third row. 3 rows are there, 3 columns are there. Which column? Second column, third column, fourth column. Now, so if you think, so further, so we are talking about the northwest corner cell. Then cell number 1, 2 is the cell number 1, 2 is the presently the northwest corner cell. Northwest corner cell. Cell number 1, 2. Okay, 1, 1 already you have allocated and first column has gone. So cell number 1, 2 is the northwest corner cell. Now how much you can allocate? So we can allocate, see, with respect to this cell, you can see the below, there is 3 units and the same row there is 2 units. Minimum of 2 and 3. Minimum of 2 and 3 equal to 2. So we can allocate 2 units to this cell. So earlier our x11 was equal to 3. Now x12 equal to 2. So once you have allocated 2, so we can reduce. We can reduce in this first row itself. 2 minus 2 equal to 0. Nothing is left out. So the first row is dropped. And since out of 3, we have taken 2 units, only 1 unit left out. Say 1 unit left out. So that remain, and presently the new matrix, first row is gone, first column is gone. Now what is remaining? Remaining there are 2 rows and 3 columns. Which row? First row has gone, first column has gone. Now we have, so second column, third column, fourth column, then we have second row and third row. So next one is our northwest corner cell, that is cell 2-2. You can see here cell 2-2. So if you see the cell 2-2, the second row, second column cell, the 2-2, with respect to this cell, below this there is 1 unit left out, and the same row we have 1 unit. Okay, so because you see 2 units is there, you are allocating. So once we are allocating, so minimum of 2 and 1 equal to 1. So we are allocating 1. Say once you have allocated 1, so what is happening? So we can see this is 1 and this is 1. At a times we can only drop 1 of them, not 2 of them. So you cannot drop 1 row and 1 column. So only you can drop, let us say you can drop, say this column. Which column? This second column we are dropping. So once you are dropping second column, so then the cell number we are dropping second column. So first column gone, first attempt. So then we have second column gone. The first row is gone. Now you see here the cell number C23 is the presently the northwest corner cell. So see, with respect to this cell, so minimum value, that is 1, and here it is minimum value out of 2 is, say it is 1. So we have, you can allocate only 1 unit. Okay, 1 unit. So if you allocate 1 unit, so then what is happening? So we can drop the second row and proceed. So in the same manner, at a times we are deleting either a row or a column. Okay. So see, whatever we have done, now I am just taking the summary, and something is left out also that we will discuss. So in the first row, there is 3 and 2, both are allocated. They are sum equal to 5. In the second row, 1 and 1, the sum equal to 2. That is complete. Then in third row, we have 1 and 2, sum equal to 3. So the first row sum equal to 5, 3 plus 2. And second row 1 plus 1 equal to 2. And third row, that is 1 plus 2 equal to 3. This is complete. Now, if you talk about the column wise, in first column, it is 3. In the second column, 2 plus 1 equal to 3. In the third column, say 1 plus 1 equal to 2. And in fourth column, that is 2 units. So altogether, all are allocated. Now, we are interested to know, with respect to the present allocation, what is the total shipping cost? The total shipping cost equal to something like 48. So we are calculating the 48, how it is. 3 into 3, 3 into 3, C11 equal to 3, X11 equal to 3, 3 into 3, 9. Then we have 7 into 2, that is 7 is equal to C12. Then our 2 is X12. So 7 into 2, so that is 14. 9 plus 14, that is 23. First row is over. Then the second row, 4 into 1, 23 plus 4, that is 23 plus 4, 27. Then 3 into 1, that is 30. 27 plus 3, 30. Then the last row, we have 8 into 1, so 38. Then 5 into 2, that is 10. 38 plus 10, 48. So altogether, total shipping cost equal to 48. So see, we have got a solution. Say, what is the solution? So we like to mention. So presently, our solution X11 equal to 3, X12 equal to 2, X22 equal to 1, X23 equal to 1, X33 equal to 1, X34 equal to 2, and rest of the variables are 0. And the cost coefficients are given 3, 7, 6, 4, 2, 4, 3, 2, 4, 3, 8, 5. As a result, the total transportation cost or the total shipping cost equal to 48 units. Now, we are interested to know whether the present solution is a solution, is a phase 1 solution, whether it is optimal or not. If it is optimal, how to check? If it is not optimal, how to check? We should learn about this. The next one is the least cost method. Least cost method. This is also one of the method. We say it is a phase 1 method. So just like the northwest corner rule, we use the least cost method. So what is this method? In this method, we start assigning as much as possible to the cell with the least unit transportation cost. Okay. So, and within bracket, ties are broken arbitrarily, and the associated amount of the supply and demand are adjusted by subtracting the allocated amount. Okay. So if you compare the northwest corner rule and the least cost least cost method, LCM, we said is least cost method. So both are slightly different. Earlier what we do, we locate the northwest corner rule and we allocate. In the second method, the least cost method, we find the least cost among all the Cij. We find the least cost which is having least, and we start allocating to that cell only. And if there is a ties, so we break the ties arbitrarily, and the associated amount of supply and demands are adjusted by subtracting the allocated amount. Next, cross out the row or column with supply, with zero supply or zero demand to indicate there is no further assignment can be made to that row or column. If both a row and a columns are simultaneously satisfied, then if exactly one row or one column is left uncrossed, make the obvious allocation and stop. Else, cross out one only, either a row or a column, and leave a zero supply or demand in the uncrossed out row and column. Next, we look uncrossed. Next, look for the uncrossed out cell with the smallest unit cost and repeat the process until no further allocations are to be made. So first is complete, then we look for the next smallest unit cost and try to allocate in the similar manner. See here, this is a problem. This is a problem what we have taken earlier. A same problem earlier. The result you see, the earlier what the result we got. Just I am repeating again. So the total shipping cost was 48. Now, so whether we have improved or not, so we like to know. So how to improve? So because what is the trick here? See, with respect to this allocation, so the cost, the least cost, we are saying least cost method. The costs are simply given 3 units, 7 units, 6 units, 4 units. In the first row, minimum is 3. And we have second row, if you think about 2, 4, 3, 2, 2, 4, 3, 2. And third row, 4, 3, 8, 5. So if you look for the minimum cost, there are two units, and the second row, first column, that cost coefficient is 2. Then we have second row, fourth column, that cost coefficient is 2. Okay. So now we can arbitrarily select one of them. So we'll select, let us say, the second row and first column with respect to the minimum cost. Minimum cost is 2. So this cell is selected. This cell is selected, second row and first column. Now, how to allocate? We'll allocate in this manner. So with respect to this cell, in the row itself, there is 2 units. And the column itself, there are 3 units. Minimum equal to 2 units. So that 2 units we allocate to this cell. After allocating these 2, so this 2 to this cell, so we observe once we have reduced 2 from this 2, so that is 0, nothing is left out. So, and from 3 we are reducing 2, so only left out 1 unit. So as a result, we have, so in the first column, 1 unit left out. In second row, nothing is left out. So what we should do? So we are going to drop the second row. Nothing is left out. So second row is dropped. And only to this cell, which cell? Cell number 21. we have allocated 2 units. We have allocated 2 units. Okay. So once we have allocated in this manner, so after that we'll see what is left out. So see, this 2 has gone. Next 2 in this second row, the second row and fourth column, that 2 is also gone. So now we'll think what is left out. What is the minimum? Minimum, if you think, that is 3, 7, 6, 4. Second row is gone. 4, 3, 4, 3. So we have 4, 3, 8, 5. Now minimum is coming as 3. There are 2, 3. The cell number 1, 1, there is a 3. The cost coefficient is 3. The cell number, we have 3, 2. There is another 3. So these 3, we can select anyone. We are selecting, let me say, we are selecting, this is the cell number 1, 1. If you select cell number 1, 1, what is happening to this? Say we have to allocate minimum of this 5 and 3. So minimum of not 5 and 1, because already 2 units is gone. Minimum of 5 and 1. Minimum of 5 and 1 equal to 1. So 1 unit you have allocated. Once you have allocated 1 units, there is nothing is left out. We drop the first column. And once you have allocated 1 units, so out of 5, 1 has gone. So 4 units left out. Okay, 4 units. This first column is gone. Then we have second row is gone. So both have gone. So now, so with respect to this, we are coming to the next minimum. What is the next minimum? Say, see, 3. This is gone. Nothing is left out here. So we have these 3. That is the next minimum. Now we are coming to these 3. So with respect to these 3, the cell number, third row and second column. Okay. So with respect to this, we have, so in the row there is 3 units. In the column there is 3 units. So at a time you can allocate only 3 units. So either a row and column, we are allocating the row. So and once we are allocating, this is 0. So we have allocated 3, and these 3, once you have taken, that is 0, because at a time we cannot allocate, we cannot cross out 2 rows, 1 row and 1 column. Only one of them you can drop. So next is 3. So after that we have here. So next is, once it is complete, next you are coming to this 4, next 6, next 7, and in this manner you are allocating. Okay. So the order is like this. Say I have told first 2, then 3, then 3, then 4, then 6, then 7. So this is the order. So whether it is fulfilling our requirement or not, let us see. It is fulfilling our requirement or not. So if you see row wise, I am adding 1, 0, 2, 2. That is 5 units. In the second row, 2 units. In third row, 3 units. In first column, 3 units. In second column, 3 units. And in third column, we have 2 units. In fourth column, we have 2 units. Now, if you are calculating the total shipping cost, 3 into 1, 3. So we have 7 into 0 gone. Nothing is there. 3, 6 into 2. So 3 plus 12, 15 plus 8, 23 plus 4, 23 plus 4, 27 plus 9. 27 plus 9 equal to 36. So we have got 36. Now earlier we got 48, now it is 36. So if you compare these two solutions, the first one is also a phase 1 solution. Second one is also a phase 1 solution. So we have 2 phase 1 solution. So still we do not know whether we can reduce further or not. But we want to check whether, certainly if you check the first one and second one, first one cannot be optimal because we are finding 48 and 36. Say first one cannot be optimal. So second one may be optimal, we don't know. So we have to check and conclude. See, next we will discuss about the transportation problem, that is the phase 2 solution. Okay, this phase 2 solution. So actually it is nothing but modification of the simplex method. So that is known as modified distribution method. So we have given a new name to this. Say the name is modified distribution. Modified distribution. Modified, out of the modified MO is taken and out of the distribution DI is taken. So in short, the name is MODI method. MODI, MODI method. So the MODI stands for the modified distribution. So modified distribution. So now whatever the allocation is possible, if you can modify in such a manner that row and column fulfill, and this is giving minimum cost, that is our solution. That is a new solution, and this new solution may be optimal, may not be optimal. We have to check. We will check using the duality theory. Okay, this. So dear students, I like to mention tomorrow there is the test. Okay, you know it, no? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow is the test. First 3 questions are there. One is revised simplex method. Second is the dual simplex method. Third is the integer programming. Okay. So this, so again, similar type question, because integer type, you have to fill up the answer with the integer type. There are, each question have been carrying say 10 marks, and there are 5 bits. So you have to answer correctly. So what I'm saying here, so it will start at 5 o'clock and half an hour or 35 minutes will give in maximum. So you please and you check your all these what is given here, password and the user account password. If it is working, all right. If it is not working, you please contact the person, that Subrat Naik. So he will reply. So okay. So tomorrow, just to check today whether it is taking or not. Okay. So you please note down. And tomorrow I will take 1 hour class. This modified distribution method, the phase 2 solution we'll discuss. After that, so the test will be taken. Okay. And see what I want to say. The next test is based on transportation problem, the assignment problem, and little about the game theory. Okay, the game theory. So after covering all these 3 chapters, so I will take a test. Okay, maybe sometimes in the first week of April or the last week of March, depends on when it is possible. Okay, so and after that, see, I find many of the students are simply your marks are if X is scoring 10, then all 10. So something like that. So try to avoid. So if I'm finding, so the Viva will be there. I'm finding one of them you are able to answer, other you are not able to answer, or I don't know how do you answering the question. So please do you independently yourself. You don't discuss. And if you do like that, see what if I'm finding all are scoring same mark, so I will not give credit to anybody. Okay, I will not give credit to anybody. How it is possible? Tell me. So all 20. So it never happened. So how it is happening? Okay. So this means you are discussing in a group and writing. So this is not fair. Okay. So if I'm finding, so this credit should not be given. Okay. That is the reason I'm not disclosing that. So who has scored how much? But I will take the Viva. So I will take when I'm taking the Viva, I will discuss. I will call in separately. Okay, not in the same manner. Okay, serial or okay. So if you are able to answer, fine. So if you are not able to answer, means you don't have these knowledge to score this much mark. Okay, right?